That's a big difference. The future is very bright for both these programs.
So we'll take a break here for the national anthem and the introduction of the players.
Tonight's officials assigned to this contest have been selected according to the procedures adopted by the Ohio High School Athletic Association and the Cincinnati Hills League. Our officials for tonight's contest are Jamie Cavalier, Matt Johnson, Joe Yoshimura, and King Jet Lee. We live in a country like no other. We ask everyone to rise and remove your caps for the playing of our national anthem.
Tony, maybe you can sing it for us.
I don't think you want that.
Welcome, Braves fans. To Indian Hill High School Gymnasium, where the Indian Hill Braves will be taking on the Wyoming Cowboys for the first matchup of the CHL season. The Braves come into the game 0-1, and the Cowboys are 1-0. Tony Harris is with me tonight in the booth to be our color commentary. I'm Rob Young. So, Tony, what's going to be the key to this game tonight?
Well, the key to the game, I think, is getting into the Wyoming bench. Their 5 starters are very strong. They returned 4 of their 5 starters from last year and a superb freshman. Their bench is not as strong, and Indian Hill has a much stronger bench. So the key will be trying to get their starting 5 either in foul trouble or tired, and hopefully take advantage of numbers 6 through 8 on Indian Hill, and hopefully the lack of depth that Wyoming might have.
So. One of the keys, I think, for the game tonight that's going to play into this is that Wyoming has had 2 extra weeks of practice, where the Braves literally have had a week to practice because they went so deep in the tournament this year for football. Absolutely,
and ironically, Indian Hill's the one who knocked off Wyoming and gave them a little bit more rest in basketball practice. So the benefit that had in football might hurt a little bit here with basketball. Wyoming is also out for a little bit of revenge. Wyoming was 14-0 last year in the CHL, won every game, including twice against Indian Hill, but in the state tournament, Indian Hill played a phenomenal game and knocked Wyoming out of the state tournament. So these guys remember that, and they're probably out for bear. Indian Hill now has knocked off Wyoming in the state tournament in football and basketball back-to-back, and Wyoming brought quite a contingency of fans here with them, and this place is going to be raucous.
It's going to be electric tonight. Both student sections are looking big and strong. During the JV game, there was a little bit of commotion, so I think we're going to see that. Tony, just remember, Foot Locker does not close at 8 o'clock. It closes at 9 o'clock. If you're going to tell the refs that, make sure you get the numbers right. I think you offended an official by taking an hour of his work time away from him. So, as we get ready here to have the introduction of the players and the national anthem, Tony, the big thing that I think is important with both these squads is what we're going to see is not only a great game tonight, but we're going to see the future for both these squads. Both squads are young squads. Wyoming's a little more mature as they've got more 11th graders on the squad than Indian Hill, but both squads start a dominant underclassmen roster.
But I'm with you, Rob. Both teams only start one senior. Each has just one senior starter and one senior that's a major contributor. So that's a big difference. The future is very bright for both these programs.
So we'll take a break here for the national anthem and the introduction of the players.
Tonight's officials assigned to this contest have been selected according to the procedures adopted by the Ohio High School Athletic Association and the Cincinnati Hills League. Our officials for tonight's contest are Jamie Cavalier, Matt Johnson, Joe Yoshimura, and King Jet Lee. We live in a country like no other. We ask everyone to rise and remove your caps for the playing of our national anthem.
Tony, maybe you can sing it for us.
I don't think you want that.
Well, Tony, that had to be one of the most unusual national anthems we've heard. It was done in round with Indian Hill starting, Wyoming following behind. If it's any indication what's coming in this game, it's going to be loud. Both sides are going to be proud, and I think we're going to be in for some exciting fireworks tonight.
Lineups for tonight's contest. For the Wyoming Cowboys, coached by Tim Edmonds. Please welcome number 5, Aaron Prater. Number 11, Mason Rogers. Number 12, Lonnie Grayson. Number 14, Jake Edmonds. And number 31, Joey Edmonds. And now, without further ado, your media praise. Senior number 3, Nick Heidel. Junior number 4, Dawson Eichholz. Sophomore number 5, Colin Shaw. Junior number 11, Matteo Fiore. And junior number 15, Reed Eichholz. Let's hear it for your brave.
So, Tony, there we have it. Our starting lineup for the Wyoming Cowboys. Graydon Prater is an 11th grader. Mason Rogers, an 11th grader. Ronnie Grayson, 11th grader. Jake Edmonds, an 11th grader. And making his debut in the CHL tonight, Joey Edmonds, number 31. I think we're going to see some spectacular things out of that young man as the season goes.
He's terrific, Rob. You and I both got to see him play as a 7th and an 8th grader, and people thought he was the best 7th grader and then the best 8th grader in the state. He was their leading scorer their first game of the year with 15, hit 3 out of 4 threes. And
up for the key, Prater, 14, number Jake Edmonds driving the lane, going up, and stuffed by Colin Shaw. Prater up, stuffed by Eichholz. Shaw with the rebound. Shaw with the fast break up the court. Passing it to the right to
Heidel.
Mateo
Fiore.
Fiore with the ball to the right side. Dawson Eichholz to Shaw. Out to Reed Eichholz to Fiore to Heidel. Heidel in the corner, dribbles the ball, brings it back out to Fiore, who's at the top of the key to Shaw. Back to Heidel, the only senior out on the floor for Indian Hill right now. Fiore with the ball, looking to take it inside to Eichholz, who goes up for the shot and gets the 2 points. Reed Eichholz puts the Braves on the board first with 2 points. Bringing up is Joey Edmonds, the true freshman for Wyoming.
Interesting, Mateo Fiore's guarding Joey Edmonds. Mateo got that assignment early, just got a steal.
By Mateo Fiore, who
it's a little too aggressive.
A fast break, gets a little aggressive and turns the ball over to Wyoming. Bringing the ball in for Wyoming is Mason Rogers to Joey Edmonds as Edmonds brings the ball up.
Interesting matchups. Lonnie
misses a shot at rebound by Wyoming. Heidel with the ball. So the rims are not favoring Wyoming yet. Heidel with the 3 and it's off the mark. Prater to Rogers. Rogers to Edmonds. Prater
loses some control of the ball. Indian Hill gets it. Interesting, inside, Reed Eichholz is being guarded by, they've switched it now. Eichholz is being guarded by Lottie Grayson. Mentioned Grayson was player of the year last year as a sophomore in this league.
Out to Shaw, to Fiore. Fiore to Heidel in the corner, who drives the lane, gets it out to Eichholz, who goes up for 2. The Braves are up 4-0 with 5:45. It's coming down the court quickly to Edmonds, back to Edmonds. Edmonds to
Mason Rogers.
Rogers to Grayson. Grayson drives out to Edmonds for the 3, who misses it. Rebound by Dawson Eichholz. Eichholz to Shaw. Shaw brings it up across the midcourt, across the timeline, out to Heidel. Out to Eichholz at the top, who takes it against Edmonds. Edmonds on Shaw now. Shaw down to Dawson Eichholz, into Reed Eichholz on the block. Eichholz goes up and gets another 2. So Eichholz has 6 points as Edmond brings the ball up across midcourt. He's across the timeline. Pushes it out to Grayson, who puts it back out to Mason. Grayson with the ball to Edmonds, number 14, to Edmonds, freshman. To Prater to Rogers to Edmonds. Edmonds being guarded. Out to Grayson, who's being picked up by Nick Heidel at the 3-point line. Out to Joey Edmonds, who drives the lane, comes back out, loses control of the ball. Fiore with the ball. Over to Heidel, who's being picked up by Rogers. Fiore across the half court to Shaw, who's got the ball, who drives in and loses control of it. It's back to the other side. Picked up by the Braves. That was Colin Shaw. Offensive Heidel. Heidel gets the points, and it's a foul on Prater. So the Braves are coming out, bringing the heat. Coach Edmonds is not happy with that call, but Prater definitely was moving his feet. He did not have position, and he was evidently taught how to take the flop.
2 subs getting ready to come in for Indian Hill. George Davis is a transfer from Seven Hills. He is a senior. And Marco Fiore, a sophomore, Mateo's younger brother, replaces him.
So Fiore comes in for Fiore. And Davis comes in for Reed Eichholz. With Heidel at the line, the and 1. It's an 8-0 game with 4:11 left. Heidel misses the shot. Rebounded by Rogers. Rogers to the younger Edmonds. Edmonds picked up by Fiore, out to Rogers. Rogers being guarded by Eichholz. Eichholz travel on player of the year, Lonnie Gradison, who turns the ball. What?
That's Lonnie Grayson. Yeah, he was player of the year last year. He's getting a little frustrated. He's got a couple turnovers already.
Well, for a Brave squad that wasn't put together until 14 days ago, has had 10 days of practice at the most. The Braves are looking good. Heidel with the 3, and he drains it. It's an 11-0 game. Edmond coming up, and it's a quick timeout by Wyoming. So, Tony, this is what the Braves needed to do. They needed to come out hot. They needed to come out pressing hard.
And you notice that Coach Burke has already made several substitutions. They've got to keep these guys fresh and keep them on top. Wyoming will not make very many substitutions, and we've got to get them tired. Prater already has 1 foul. He's the only man with size, really, for Wyoming. And to get him a second one in this first quarter would be terrific if they could drive in and get him and force him to sit. But Prater's about 6'6", and they really don't have anybody else above 6'1" on this team.
So it'll be Wyoming ball out of bounds. It'll be the elder Edmonds bringing it out. Still in the game for Wyoming, or they're starting 5. Younger Edmonds, Rogers, Prater, and Grayson.
They will not make very many substitutions. These 5
Edmonds
are going to play the majority.
Grayson to Prater, Prater to Rogers. Rogers feeds it in to an open Grayson, who finally puts Wyoming on the board. Heidel's bringing the ball up the court, gives it off to Fiore, who brings it across midcourt, who's guarded by the younger Edmonds. Shaw out to Heidel, Heidel to Eichholz. Eichholz back out to Shaw. Shaw to Davis. To Fiore, to Eichholz. Bounce pass to Heidel at the top. Davis with the ball to Shaw. That's a bad pass, but Shaw recovers, puts it out to Heidel, who goes up for the 3 and drains it. So Nick Heidel on the 3.
Beautiful.
Edmonds goes for a 3, and he misses, and Shaw gets the rebound over Prater. Shaw's bringing the ball up, and Braves are pushing hard. Shaw dumps it to Fiore. Fiore drives the lane and makes a bad pass that's intercepted by Grayson, who puts it in. So Grayson has the only 4 points for Wyoming. Up 44-20 to Shaw. With the ball out to Davis. Shaw drives, dumps it into Davis, loses Grayson's foot. So Fiore comes in for Eichholz, and I've seen very, very smart play on Birch's side. Like you said, it's going to take the Braves going down to 8, 9, 10 men and just keeping everybody fresh. It's out to Shaw, who's gets it in the backcourt, bring it up past midcourt. He's at the timeline, guarded by Edmonds. Edmonds follows him into the lane. Heidel with the drive to the lane, and a missed shot as Rogers brings the ball up, pushes it to Jake Edmonds. Edmonds drives against Fiore, and it's a block shot by Marco Fiore, who quickly brings it up across the timeline, gets it out to Mateo Fiore, and that's off the mark, but it was a Braves rebound. The guys just didn't talk. It's to Edmonds. Edmonds gets the ball, puts it in. It's a 14-6 game. Fiore to Fiore. Fiore brings it up to midcourt. And the Braves quickly call it timeout. The Braves have gotten a little sloppy there, allowing them to come back into this game with 6 points. But they're still playing incredible basketball, considering where we are in the season.
Just terrific. It's Wyoming has 4 of their points off of 2 Brave turnovers. Got to be a little bit more careful with the ball. They've also got to get some scoring from somebody other than really Heidel and Eichholz. The last game against Anderson, Three guys made up 78% of the scoring, and Matteo Fiore, Nick Heidel, and Colin Shaw. Shaw is not on the board yet, and we know that's just a matter of time.
The Braves aren't missing tonight, which is a big change from the game against Anderson. They were, what, about 56% against Anderson?
In the field, actually, it's, 50%. Substitution, Jake Fry is in for George Davis.
It's out to Heidel, back out to Shaw, who's at the timeline, to the three-point line, and dishes it to Fiore, Fiore to Heidel. Heidel drives, goes inside, puts it up, misses. It's rebounded by Shaw, who dumps it to Fiore, who puts up a three and drains it. So the Braves have missed one three-pointer all night. Shaw on Jake Edmonds at half court. They're at the timeline. It's off to Grasson on the right to
Prater.
Prater, who goes in and gets the score. We're not sure who number 33 is who's in the game for Wyoming right now. He's not on the roster that we have. We'll find out at halftime. Shaw for two.
There's Colin. He broke into the scoring column.
Edmonds at the timeline brings it up against Shaw, who dishes it to Grayson. Grayson drives the lane out to Prater, who does a fake and gets the shot off. It's rebounded by Rogers. Rogers up, block shot. Heidel with the rebound. Fiore up to Shaw. Shaw plants and puts it up. Edmonds coming up the floor, drives all the way to the lane, gets a jumper off, and misses at the buzzer.
What a great first half.
So the Braves 21-8 in the first quarter of this game. Who would have ever thought that we'd have this kind of game,
21
Tony?
points. This is phenomenal. This is absolutely phenomenal. They're hitting on all cylinders. Shaw got hot here at the end of the quarter and gets 4. So they're getting nice contributions from an awful lot of players, and the defense has been absolutely outstanding.
So the Wyoming student section has seemed to calm down quite a bit.
This is like the Wyoming library right now, and hopefully it'll stay that way.
So very interesting play by Coach Birch. The Wyoming bench is got to be exhausted. Oh wait, the bench isn't, but the starters are exhausted.
They've only subbed one player, and he only played less than a minute, and Indian Hills played 9 players in the first quarter alone. So I think what Coach Birch is trying to do is tire them out, and hopefully in the fourth quarter their legs are going to be a little soft.
But as we know, this game is young. We're only in the second quarter, and we know how well coached the Wyoming squad is.
That's terrific, and it's this is a family affair with Wyoming. Tim Edmonds is a coach, and the coach is a son of a legendary coach, Earl Edmonds, a Hall of Famer. And his son is a terrific coach, and he's got 2 starters on this team. It's a real family affair here at Wyoming.
And it's the Braves ball to start the quarter. Fiore comes across half court, dishes to his brother Fiore, out to Colin Shaw, back to Fiore. Down to Reed Eicholz in the corner, back out to Fiore, out to Shaw. Shaw looking to drive against the younger Edmonds. Eicholz takes a 3, and it's off. Fry can't get the rebound. It's a fast break for the Wyoming Cowboys with Joey Edmonds out at Grayson with the ball at the three-point. He drives. And the ball is awarded to the Braves.
Coach Edmonds is not very happy right now, and he might have a reason for voicing a little displeasure.
I think he's thinking Foot Locker right now. Foot Locker. Shaw to Fiore. Fiore drives, dishes it to his brother Fiore, who drives. Almost loses control. It's back out to Shaw, who's guarded by Edmonds. To Fiore, who's now picked up by Prater. Bounce pass over to Fry, inside to Eicholz, who puts it up. Great ball movement by the Braves as they get fast break. They got to get back on defense. Edmonds to Rogers. Rogers, who looks to put it up, but doesn't. Edmonds drives to Edmonds, who's in the lane and loses it, but picks it back up. It's out to Prater at the three-point line, who puts it up, and it's tipped by Fry. Rebounded by Rogers. We got to get those rebounds. And it's a fast break by Fry. Out to Fiore. So Fry tries to lay it up in there. He should have just gone, and that ball stolen by Joey Edmonds. As the Cowboys
and a foul on Fiore
get a foul on Fiore for a reach in.
That's the first Indian Hill foul of the game.
It's only the second foul of the game. This has been one thing that I do like is the refs are allowing them to play. But Wyoming calls a timeout. They're not Wyoming's not happy. He's getting all over his players because they are getting shown up big time. This is reminiscent of last year's state tournament game.
Absolutely. If Indian Hill played a great game in the state tournament and knocked Wyoming out when Wyoming thought there was going to be a layup for them, and Indian Hill came out with the same fire and vigor, and Coach Birch has them going right now.
Now we've seen the Braves with some mishandled balls, but they seem to recover. It's early in the season. A lot of these guys play football. Their basketball legs aren't underneath them yet, but they are doing a phenomenal job.
On both teams, 3 of Wyoming starters are major cogs of their football team, and really right now you got 4 of the 5 Brave starters are football players as well.
So you got Rogers with the ball out to Grayson. Grayson looking to swing it out to Prater at the 3-point line. Prater guarded by Eichholz. To Edmonds. Quick dish into Rogers. Rogers back out to Edmonds. Edmonds to Edmonds. Edmonds being guarded by Fiore. Fiore. Grayson guarded by Marco Fiore. Stops the player of the year. It's out to Prater. Eichholz on Prater. Rogers to Edmonds. Edmonds to Rogers at the top.
Well, if there were a 30-second clock, it'd be in great shape.
To Rogers, to Prater, who puts it up for a 3 and hits the mark. So that's the first 3-pointer for the Cowboys tonight. It's a 23-11 game right now. Fiore brings it up across midcourt, out to Fiore, past the timeline, dishes to Shaw, swings it around in the lane, dishes it to Fiore, who gets a nice put in.
Beautiful pass
by on defense. Swings it up to Rogers, who drives the lane, dishes out to Grayson, who puts it up, is off the mark, and it's going to be a foul on Jake Edmonds.
Right over the back.
Yeah. So Fiore had position, did a great job of boxing him out and getting the foul. So it's going to be Eichholz bringing the ball in, and we've got number 33 in for Wyoming again. Again, we don't know who this player is. I think they picked him up off the street.
Colin Shaw has taken his first break of the game. They just took him out and brought Heidel back in. So all the Braves players have at least had a chance to catch their breath, and we can't say the same for the Wyoming guys. So this is to
Heidel to Fiore. Fiore at the timeline, down to Eichholz. Eichholz drives, dishes it out to Fiore. Fiore drives, dishes it out to Eichholz, who puts up a shot, and it's off the mark. But it's going to be Rogers with the rebound. Wyoming coming up the court, picked up by Eichholz. Prater with the ball, guarded by Eichholz, who has his hands straight up in the air. And, that was all ball. That was all ball. So that'll be Eicholz's first foul. The Braves are up 25-11 with 4:27 left. Prater will be at the line for 2. Well, Tony, one of the hard parts about our booth is we've got the Indian Hill student section right in front of us. At times it gets difficult to see this close corner. So you're going to see my trick. I tend to stand on chairs.
And at 6'6", that gets you up there pretty high.
So Prater makes his first shot. He'll be taking the second. In the blocks for Indian Hill are Eichholz and Eichholz. And Prater hits his second. So that's only the 3rd foul shot of the night. We had one with Heidel with the N1, and that was the Wyoming's first time at the line. And both squads are 100%.
And Shaw just came back in the game. That wasn't for Mateo Fiore, but Shaw was out maybe, 40 seconds, 50 seconds of game time. So they're not going to leave him out very long.
Looks like we're getting a
clock violation, a clock problem. It's the clock at the start.
Okay, so we've got a technical difficulty here in the first home game for the Braves with the clock. Davis comes in for Eichholz. So Shaw will bring the ball out for the Braves. So on the floor for the Braves, you got Shaw, Fiore, Heidel, Davis, and Eichholz. Fiore with the ball out to Shaw.
And Wyoming just put a sub in.
Shaw to
O'Gara.
Davis in the paint.
George Davis.
And George gets called for the charge. And Wyoming has their starters back in the game.
Well, they have number 2, O'Gara, has come in, and he just came in a couple seconds ago, so they do have one sub in there.
So Rogers to Edmonds as they bring it up.
So that's O'Gara
to half court. Picked up by Shaw. Grayson with the ball to Rogers at the top of the paint. To Grayson inside, who puts it up and misses, and it's a rebound by Dawson Eichholz. Fiore with the ball, pushing it up to Shaw. Shaw with the three-point shot, and he drains it. So Colin Shaw is hot tonight. Edmonds up to Rogers. It's a missed pass, but Rogers keeps control. It's to O'Gara. Grayson with the ball.
It's an offensive foul.
It's an offensive foul on...
I think it's O'Gara.
Foul is on O'Gara, the lone senior on the court for Wyoming. You know, we talked about Grayson being the player of the year last year as a sophomore. He's only a junior. He's got a bright future ahead of him.
He quit playing football and any other sports his focus on basketball, and it's paid dividends for him.
Fiore to Eichholz. Eichholz looking to Shaw, to Fiore. Out to Eichholz at the timeline to Shaw on the upper wing. Shaw looking to put it into the paint. Back out to Fiore above the timeline. Fiore drives, gets up, and
Marco Fiore.
And if you would have noticed, little Joey Edmonds thinks he knows how to flop, but it didn't work that time.
Well, Wyoming was in some sort of zone right there, and I think they're getting a little tired, and they want to play some zone and save some legs.
Grayson with the drive to the dish to Edmonds. Edmonds out to Rogers. Rogers to Prater. Prater drives and makes that turnover. Shaw with the ball, driving with the jumper, and it's going to be off. It's going to be Wyoming ball as Wyoming pushes up the court to Rogers. Rogers at the three-point line, dishes it to Prater, and it's going to be on Reed Eichholz. That'll be his second.
Yeah.
Eichholz allowed Prater to get position on him and tried to get it back and got called for the foul. So coming in is Fry for Eichholz. As Edmonds inbounds the ball to Rogers, who misses it. Prater with the ball, dishes it out to Edmonds at the three, who drains it.
That's a shame.
Fiore across midcourt out to Eichholz. Eichholz drives to Shaw. Shaw to Fiore. Fiore looking to inbound to Heidel. Heidel looking for position for the mismatch to Shaw. To Fiore.
Timeout.
And Birch has called a timeout. He's not happy. He wasn't happy with a call down, with a missed call down at this side of the Indian Hill end of the court. I don't think he liked the way the Braves were setting up their offense.
Been a little sloppy the last couple possessions. They need to finish things off with crisper passes, and it's a shame. But still have a 14-point lead with 2:02 left until halftime. The Braves come back out. They take Dawson Eichholz out. So
both coaching staffs were giving the refs an earful that timeout. The Wyoming bench was giving the younger official an earful, and Birch was giving the old-timer an earful. It's Fiore to Fiore. Fiore drives, gives it to Fiore, who's got Edmonds on him. Out to Heidel, who drives, gets the shot off and misses. And it's rebounded by Joey Edmonds, who's pushing the ball up the court, across midcourt, drives to the lane, gets a jumper, and it's off the mark, and it's rebounded by Heidel. Heidel dishes it to Fiore. Fiore to Shaw, who's in the corner with Grayson on him. Out to Fiore at the top.
And Wyoming's back in a man-to-man.
Fiore with the ball to Shaw. Shaw's been guarded all night by Grayson. Heidel's got Rogers on him. Down to Shaw, who's now got Prater on him. Shaw rolls and puts it up and misses it. It's rebounded by Heidel. Great rebound by Nick Heidel. Back out top for another try. Heidel at the top to Fiore on the right side. Fiore out to Shaw at the top to Fiore on the left. Fiore out to Fiore. Fiore to Shaw. Shaw looking to drive against Edmonds. To Fiore at the top, out to Fiore. The Braves are just eating up clock now.
They might be holding for one.
Fiore with the ball with Rogers on him. Dishes it to Fiore, down to Shaw. Shaw out to Fiore, who dishes it out to Fry, who loses control but gets it back. Out to Heidel. To Fiore.
Both teams have fouls to give.
To Heidel, who puts the three up and drains it. And drains it. That's another three-pointer by Nick Heidel, who has 11 points tonight. So the Braves have Heidel with 11. Shaw with 7.
The Braves have
Fiore
two fouls
with
to give.
3. And Fiore with 4 on the floor right now. Shaw and Edmonds, who drives, takes a jump stop and gets the basket at the buzzer. So Tony, let's sum up this first half. Clearly, Indian Hill came out for blood tonight.
Absolutely.
They knew that they were going against a team that was better prepared because they've been practicing. A team that's loaded in the starting 5. But I think Birch recognizes that past the starting 5, Wyoming doesn't have anybody.
Well, the Braves definitely have some real pep in their step. They're playing aggressively. They're playing really hard. And Birch has used his bench very wisely. They've used 9 players in the first quarter, 9 players in the first. Able to give his starters a little bit of a blow, and Wyoming has an injury. It's really hurt them. Wyoming's been a little bit soft and slow getting back.
One thing I do know about that Wyoming team is I think all 5 days of the Thanksgiving break.
They're a dedicated bunch, and we've got a 15-point lead right now. I know Coach Birch would be very, very happy if there were all zeros on the scoreboard as far as the clock goes in the game. We're a tough team to come back, and we know they're going to make it. Hopefully, our guys are getting some rest, and they'll be equal to the task here in the second half.
Well, I'm Rob Young, and this is with us tonight at the season game where the Braves 3-8 here at court. Great
Bridge game on the Indian Hill Television Network is of the Indian Hill High School Video Department. The video provides the community educational focus through the facilities of the ICRC. Let us know what you think of this sports Indian Hill Television Network by calling our viewer feedback phone at 272-4590. Phone lines are open 24 hours a day, so give us a call. How we're doing.
Welcome back to Braves Gymnasium, where the Indian Hill Braves lead the Wyoming Cowboys 33-18. Tony, first half pretty impressive for the Braves to be up by this many points.
Just terrific. They played with a lot of fire, a lot of passion. The defense was great. They covered for each other. They found the open man and guarded him. They passed the ball beautifully. It's textbook. They really came prepared for this. Give Coach Birch a lot of credit and give the kids a lot of credit. They're playing terrific, and let's how it keeps up here for the next 16 minutes.
Yeah, and what we do know about the Wyoming coaching staff is they're not going to be happy with this, and I guarantee you they were not giving those boys a slap on the back. That they were telling them they need to bring their game back. They need to take control of this game and get this thing back home.
They're starting 5 guys who have played 96% of their minutes the first half are out there again. Both the Edmonds boys and Mason Rogers and Prater and Lonnie Grayson.
So in the lineup for the Braves, it's number 11, Matteo Fiore, number 4, Dawson Eichholz, number 5, Colin Shaw, number 15, Reed Eichholz, and the senior on the team, number 3, Nick Heidel, who had 3 3-points.
He played really, really well. Boy, he really played great against Wyoming last year in that state tournament game, and he's picked up right where he left off.
If Wyoming doesn't get it in, so Grayson's got it in the backcourt, brings it up across the half court. He's picked up by Heidel at the timeline, who dishes it to Edmonds and to Prater, who loses control, who's guarded by Eichholz. Eichholz follows him down into the paint. It's out to Joey Edmonds, who's guarded by Fiore. Edmonds drives, puts it up, and gets a bad shot.
Late whistle.
And a flop. So Joey Edmonds looks like he's going for an Emmy Award tonight here with his 3rd flop on the court, but he's been able to pull 2 fouls. That foul's on number 4. Dawson Eichholz, his 1st.
He's amazingly smart and resourceful, especially for a freshman.
And it's the Wyoming Cowboys with the 1st points of the half. So Edmonds with 2 points there. Fiore brings it up across midcourt. He's out to Heidel. Heidel, who's picked up by Rogers, to Shaw in the paint, who puts it up for 2.
That's but Collins got 9 now, and remember he was virtually shut out in the first quarter.
Rogers to Grayson. Grayson with that's a moving pick.
It's a missed shot too.
To Heidel, to Eichholz. Eichholz to Fiore, to Shaw. To Eichholz. The Braves are playing discipline here. To Fiore. To Shaw, who's guarded by Rogers. Out to Heidel, who's guarded by Edmonds. Heidel takes it into the lane, and he's up with the 2.
Wow.
So the Braves are looking great here. That was great textbook driving the lane. It's down to Grayson, past the timeline, back out to Edmonds, to Rogers, to Edmonds, who centers it back up, who's guarded by Fiore, dishes it down to his brother, Edmonds, to Rogers, to Prater, to Edmonds, down to Rogers, into Grayson, who gets it, who gets blocked by Colin Shaw. So Colin Shaw out to Eichholz. Shaw will bring the ball up past the midcourt, all the way up to the timeline, dishes it to Eichholz on the right wing, to Eichholz. Eichholz out to Eichholz, out to Heidel. I'm sorry, that's Fiore to Shaw. To Eichholz, who has the ball, and he gets called for the travel.
It's a drop step. He's allowed to do that.
Well, we've seen some poor calls tonight, but the play, at least it's been consistent in both directions. Edmonds brings it up to half court. And I got to say, this Wyoming team looks tired.
Hopefully, if the Braves can continue to put pressure on them and they don't sub much, they'll continue to be tired.
Edmonds up top of the timeline. Edmonds to Edmonds, down to Rogers, out to Grayson, to Edmonds, out to Edmonds, who's in the lane and
travel.
And turns the ball over. Edmonds is slow to get up. It's Heidel down to Eichholz, to Fiore, who puts the 3 up and drains the 3. I got to say,
they need a timeout here. A timeout for Wyoming.
The Braves have come back out and are extending their lead. It's a 40-20 game with 5:15 left, Tony. What do you think?
Whatever Birch is feeding them in the pregame meal, I want some. They are absolutely incredible. They're playing so well. This is just terrific. This is not a cupcake game. This is against the preseason favorite to win this league, and they are dominating.
Yeah, you know, the loss to Anderson the other night, you know, Anderson has a fabulous duo of players over there. that are going to be playing in the college ranks.
Well, I thought Anderson played well. I thought Indian Hill was really very sloppy, but they've corrected in just 6 days. It's just amazing the corrections that coach has made, and they're just focused and driven, and the kids are seeing open men, and their defense is great, and they're getting every loose ball, and it's terrific. They're playing. Following in the football team's footsteps, and most of these kids are football players.
So Edmonds brings it up past the half court. He's guarded by Fiore, the 11th grader. Dishes it to Rogers, who's picked up by Dawson Eichholz. Out to Edmonds at the top of and he's off the mark, and it's going to be a Colin Shaw rebound off a tip by Eichholz. Heidel up for a three, and he's off the mark that time.
Dawson Eichholz
with the rebound to Shaw. Shaw drives, dishes it out to Heidel. Heidel down to Fiore. Fiore out to Heidel. Heidel to Shaw. Shaw drives against the player of the year last year and gets the 2 points.
Banks it in.
Wyoming's pushing it up the floor to Prater. Prater's picked up by Reed Eichholz out to Rogers, who has a little space and drives the lane and gets the shot. He's going to get called. Shaw gets called for the block. So it'll be Colin Shaw's first foul. Second team foul of the half. Rogers will be at the line shooting 2. Oh, and it's a short shot. This is the typical team we look for, who's fundamentally always sound. They're missing shots. They're not getting rebounds. They're turning the ball over on passes.
Well, Mason Rogers is not really a scorer for them. He does a lot of other things. He rebounds. He plays terrific defense. But shooting is not one of his strengths. And
Eichholz gets the rebound out to Shaw, coming down the right side of the court, dishes it down to Fiore, who drives into the lane and puts